Welcome everyone. Great to have so many people here. Hey Fedis, how's it going, man?
Good. Hey everyone.
Nice. All right. I think we should just get started. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of exciting new developments today, so really happy to see everyone here. So what we're going to talk about today is some of the things that have been going on regarding Degen V2, regarding rebranding, some of the products that will be coming out with the Degen V2 launch, and an update to our vision and values, kind of refining everything that's going on here and focusing our message and why what we're doing here matters so much. So really excited to dive into that. Fedis, did you want to quickly talk about the governance updates for this week and Treasury?
Sure. So Treasury's looking great. As you guys have all seen, the market's been doing wonderful. We're looking at around 10 million total value for the Treasury. So that's looking great, and that's not including any Yam contributor funds, et cetera, et cetera. That's straight the Yam Treasury. So that's looking excellent. And as far as operations, the monthly transparency report is up on the forums. Do check it out for the contributors and what everybody's been up to. But you'll get most of that on this community update that Will is doing. So back to you, Will. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much. That's amazing news. What a week of growth. And yeah, excited to dive into this and share everything that's going on. So let's jump in. So vision and values, let's start here because this is the heart of everything, and I think it's a pretty powerful update. So looking at ideas that have changed the world, and great example here, Bitcoin really nailed its vision and values in the first sentence. So what does it do? What does it do, and why does it matter? So let's look at exactly how we've taken this and approached it to what we're doing at Yam. So what is Yam? What is its values? Community, number one. Everything comes from the community and building for itself. Innovation, fresh products, changing things in DeFi and making new things possible. Fairness, the fair launch, and decentralization. So this is what really matters for us. So how can we put out a value statement that takes all of these to its heart? So this is our Yam vision. YamDAO is a self-governed community building integrated and novel DeFi products designed to grow the value of the Yam ecosystem, empowered by shared economic incentives in pursuit of a decentralized financial system for all. So incredible work here. Tom really nailed it, and this has been a team effort. So looking forward to putting this at the heart of everything we do and focusing all around this, everything we do on the vision. So Tom, do you want to take it from here and dive into more about how we've approached this to our products?
Yeah. Just 1 second, if you actually don't mind, to really tee this up. If you want to flip back to the last slide, I could kind of parse this out real quick. So this was, again, actually a couple months of work, and longtime Yammers will probably notice that there's not a lot here that is a new idea to Yam or a different idea to Yam. It's more of just a focused vision at Yam. So we actually kind of highlighted the different elements of this vision statement that harken back to each of the separate different values, right? And so if you look at self-governed community, that ties directly back to the community value. And so again, this was not just the core contributor team that tried to tighten these up, but this was also based on feedback from the community, and that's going to actually segue into what we talk about with the products. What are the different products that you guys are working on right now, and what do they do, right? And so the vision needs to be clear here that we build integrated products. They should all somehow tie back to the Yam ecosystem and strengthen one another by those relationships that they share. They also need to be novel, so that harkens back to the innovation. And we certainly have a lot of innovative, bright thinkers in the Yam community and contributor team, and we'll continue to innovate and be at the forefront of so much in the DeFi space. Yam is first on so many different angles. The first kind of food token to the first bootstrapping treasury. So innovation is definitely at the heart of everything we do. And it needs to be fair, so it needs to, what we work on needs to grow the value of the Yam ecosystem. We can't just waste anyone's time here. So those kind of three elements are really going to focus all of what we're doing with our rebrand and tying all of our product branding together. So now we can switch to the next slide. So kind of some issues that we've noticed. If you try to introduce a friend to Yam who's not as familiar with what we do here, they might say like, well, what's going on? Are you a Yam? Are you a zombie brand with Degenerative? What's this umbrella thing over here? Wait, you have an insurance product? Or do you have a synthetic product? How are the products fitting together? So you got a fragmented brand, you have product disunion. Wait, is Umbrella actually a Yam product? Does it bring value back to Yam? The answer to all these things is absolutely yes. It's just unclear right now. And so that's what we're really going to focus on. And then once we bring all that together, we have that brand consolidation, the product integration, there will be a clear value proposition, and then you'll be able to see this clear roadmap of how these things are integrated novel DeFi products, tying back to the vision statement, and the value will be very clear going forward. So this is a super exciting time to be at Yam, and that's why we're starting with this, because it'll be very easy to bring more people into the Yam ecosystem, into the Yam community, get everyone involved when everyone is immediately understanding what we're doing, what we're about, who's on first, and what's coming next. So that was kind of the problem solution that was identified. And then next slide. How did we evaluate what we could do to our branding to make it more clear, to make it more self-evident? You kind of got at the middle of the bullseye, you've got the Yam brand, and that comes from trying to move away from a fragmented product line, product naming scheme into a very consolidated one, and Yam is at the heart of that. And then right now we've got, again, Umbrella, Degenerative, that's the current product naming scheme. And if you bring Yam to the heart of them, then we can see how they're all tied together. So if you tie together Yam as what it's related to, it's a Yam product, it's a Yam project, and then you can kind of talk about how they fit together. Yam is the way to kind of put the bullseye on that one. So next slide. All right, so again, everything from now on can go back to the values and vision in some way, shape, or form, so that we're all rowing in the same direction. So what is the strategy that delivers on having novel DeFi products that all are interrelated, integrated, and grow the value of the Yam ecosystem? Next slide. It is putting Yam in the names of the products themselves. So Degenerative, or what was formerly known as Degenerative, was a synthetics platform aggregator. We have novel synthetics in there. That will all fall under the Yam Synthetics product brand. Treasury Management by Yam Treasury Management is what was formerly known as Umbrella. So again, you've got the clear name of Yam, who it's by, Treasury Management, what it does. Yam Finance is, Yam DAO is at the center of all of that. What was formerly Umbrella, which was is our insurance project that, again, very novel. It can be integrated with the other products that we do. It's by Yam, and what it does, it's protection. And another nice thing about tying this into the vision statement of how these are integrated is that this is also composable. Having Yam in the name of all the products we do, next slide, allows us to expand going forward, so we can continue growing the value of the Yam ecosystem. And also, we can move closer to that grand vision of creating a decentralized financial system for everyone. So Yam is certainly a great place to be, and now we've got this clear messaging and branding to, whether you're an old timer here or you're just brand new to the Yam ecosystem. Now you can see that all the projects that we're working on are going to be tied together. They're going to be self-referential, reinforcing, and integrated to really flywheel us to even greater heights. Next slide. All right, so yeah, just recapping all the benefits of why we did this and what we're excited about, what it's going to deliver. It's consolidating the brand. It's improving brand awareness because before you would go to Degenerative.finance and that might it didn't deliver value or name recognition back to Yam. Now you're going to go to Yam Synthetics, and that's going to remind the users of Yam Synthetics that Yam is a powerhouse in the DeFi space. You should be excited about it. You should get involved in the community, and you should help us build an even greater ecosystem. And that, again, it's all about community, innovation, fairness, and decentralization. And by consolidating the Yam brand, we can further that mission and that vision. So that's the brand awareness. It helps us build that cohesive ecosystem. Products are all integrated. They're novel, and they're going to serve a clear purpose. We have protection, we have synthetics, and we have treasury management, and many more to come. So you're going to have, we had all these kind of disparate logos. We had the zombie, the umbrella, the house. All branding now will incorporate or start at having the Yam at the centerpiece. So I'll toss it off to Jim here, who's also been shepherding this effort and then trying to translate it to our existing products to really make some beautiful front ends for what we've got in the pipeline. Jim?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Hey, that was a great setup there. And Tom, I want to clarify one thing. There was a slight misspeak, and referring to Yam Treasury Management, that's formerly the Dow House product. So just in case anybody out there got confused about that portion of it, so we'll have three Yam-based products that refer to the function of what the product does in the name. So yes, it'll be, maybe we can go to the next slide and I can show these in execution. This slide is showing a couple of things. It's showing the new interface, redesigned interface for formerly Degenerative Finance, which is now Yam Synth. And as you see, there's a lot of placeholders here where it says use synth. All through this is just a placeholder. Those will be separate. They're like UGAS, use stonks, etc. There's new synths going to be added, and that's the latter part of this presentation. But in terms of UI change, the upper left indicates the new branding and the new naming. And again, I just want to reinforce that it's not like you have to go to let's say the users and people new to Yam are not going to have to do 3 hops to get to the central parent of the project. So when it was Degenerative Finance, you first of all had to go Degenerative. Okay, well, that's a cool name. And then you had to go, oh, what do they do? Oh, they do synthetics. All right. And then you had to go on, who's it by? Oh, it's by Yam. Okay, so there's 3 hops. We've reduced that down. And by reducing it down, we simplified the communication and the value and the function of the product all into a simple and logical naming scheme. And this sets things up for simplicity of understanding. Users typically have, all of us, we all have this very small little niche in our brains that we will allow a small piece of understanding about anything out in the world. And with products, this is very true. So that's typically why marketing tries to focus in a very simple statement about what a particular product or company is all about, vis-a-vis the tagline. So we're doing that with product names here. So yeah, this is pretty exciting. The core contributors are very excited about this new interface, and it will be launching soon within this month and maybe very soon. So let's go to the next slide, and I'll show you how this extends out to Yam Protection, formerly Umbrella. And this interface, as you can tell, has a different color scheme, but there's a lot of similarities in terms of the setup and familiarity for different users. As they go from one Yam product to another Yam product, they are having a similar user experience, familiarity, as though you're going from one Starbucks to another Starbucks across the world. And this is powerful branding to be able to do this. The colors are what distinguish the separate products here. And this is, of course, representing the visual, the start of the visual representation, the UI and UX being developed for the long in development product of Umbrella. And that's a whole story that's unfolding here, and we'll have more, I think in our next meeting, we'll have a lot more about Umbrella, formerly Umbrella Yam Protection now. And so that's, this same scheme or same theme will be applied to Yam Treasury Management, formerly Dow House, and also to the, there will be a mother Yam website in which all of this kind of high-level information about Yam exists, and is the holding tank or the holding place for access to all the separate products. So that's all I got. I hope that was clear, and we can have questions at the end if anybody has those. I'll turn it back to you, Will.
Yeah, thank you so much. I absolutely love these, and I think the branding just looks so good in the flesh. And I'd like to reiterate that this is like a kind of a turning point. This will be a first step, I hope. I'm definitely pushing for myself to put even more focus on Yam as a token, and on just building out this DAO with the Yam at the heart of it, and empowering all our community members. So yeah, now we have some little teasers regarding some of the new products that are going to be coming with the Degen V2 launch that Designer just mentioned. So I'd like to hand over to VDM.
Hey guys, so a really cool new aggregator platform with awesome tooling and great UI. What does it need? It needs some synths. So we've obviously got UGAS and UStonks that's going to be up on there, but we're also going to be launching with a whole series of yield dollars. So each one of these little emojis over here represents a collateral type. And we've, we're excited to kind of just launch the platform with a bang. So can you head off to the next slide, please? Cool. So these are the collateral types that we've chosen. So for those that don't know, a yield dollar is basically a loan, and the loan will be backed by each one of these collaterals. So the highlight in the very center there is Yam. We've got a Yam dollar now. So you can go and deposit your Yam and borrow stable coins against that Yam as collateral, and do whatever you want in DeFi with that stable coin. You can go sell it to the pool for USDC and do anything you like. Go yield farm, go hedge, whatever. So really excited about that, bringing value back to the Yam token, as well as collateral types that are going to be bringing in other communities. So you can see there's something like Egg Sushi. We want to get the sushi community on our Degen, on our Yam Synthetics platform. We want more users, and yeah, those kind of tokens don't have so much utility as is. So bringing utility to the Uni and the Egg Sushi token is a benefit, and also getting the users onto our platform, because we need that. Cool. Next slide, please. Cool. So just a little bit of a more detailed touch on yield dollars. So they've been around for some time. They've UMA's had tremendous success with them, in that they've have a lot of users that are using it for loaning. People are using it to farm UMA. So it's been a very successful product. So it is a stable coin, but it expires. So that's a key difference. Point one, and it's going to expire to the value of $1 worth of collateral. So if you've got one Yam collateral, that's, let's say Yam's price is $2, and you go and mint one yield dollar from that. When it expires, you've got. Sorry, do you mind putting yourself on mute? Thanks. Yeah, so it expires to the value of $1 of the collateral type, of the collateral. And the primary use is for loans. So if you go and mint your yield dollar and you go sell it to the AMM pool, then you take those proceeds and do whatever you want with them. Now it becomes a fixed rate, fixed term loan. Can you head off to the next slide? And this is a second product that we're going to be launching, a second synthetic product for the launch. It may come a week or two later after the yield dollars. We're calling it Plus ETH. So can you hit to the next slide? So this one is a bit of a mind bender in some ways because it seems so simple, but it actually is quite complex under the hood. So it expires to the value of 1 ETH. So we're not talking about $1, we're talking about 1 ETH. So if you buy a Plus ETH for 0.99 ETH today, it's going to expire one day to 1 ETH at expiry. And the difference is going to be your interest. So because of that 1-to-1 relationship, it's got some interesting dynamics that come into play. So can you, next slide, please? Cool. So one of the problems people have is, with ETH reaching new all-time highs in the last week, almost every day, that means that every single ETH in existence is in profit. And there's a lot of people that want to, maybe their portfolio is now 90% ETH because it's gone up so much and they feel like it's a little bit irresponsible to have that much ETH relative to everything else. But they don't necessarily want to sell all their ETH. And then if you sell your ETH and you have a massive gain, then you're going to have to pay tax on that. So there's people out there that would rather not sell the ETH, but you just hedge it. So you would basically go deposit an ETH in collateral, mint a Plus ETH, and then you sell that Plus ETH instead of your ETH. And then what that's going to do is it's going to give you effectively a loan off your ETH. But you can now go do whatever you want with that, those proceeds. If you sell the Plus ETH to USDC, obviously now you're short, which means that your collateral is long, but you are now short ETH because you've sold the Plus ETH, which means you're market neutral. So that means if ETH starts tanking, it doesn't matter because you're not going to be exposed to the price fluctuations of the market, which is really good to hedge if you're scared the prices are going to fall and you don't want to trigger your tax liability by selling your initial collateral. So yeah, that obviously the tax situation is going to be different for every individual in different jurisdictions. So that's something that's a responsibility of each individual user to make 100% sure of. And then the other use case is the return swap. So instead of selling your Plus ETH to USDC where you're now hedged, what if you sell it to Bitcoin? What if you sell it to Yam? What you've basically done is you've swapped your returns. So you haven't sold your ETH, but you've sold Plus ETH. So that now you are technically short ETH, but then if you sold your Plus ETH to, let's say, Yam, that means you're going to be earning the returns of Yam on your ETH. So there's a bit of inception there. Really cool use cases where you're just basically not selling your collateral, and you can do some really cool things with it. So that's the core value prop there of Plus ETH. You can hit to the next slide. Yes, and if somebody is going to go sell Plus ETH to the AMM pool, what that does is it's going to push the price down. So then it creates an opportunity for somebody to pay less than 1 ETH, buy Plus ETH, which is going to expire to 1 ETH one day. So let's say someone decided to go hedge, they sold their Plus ETH to the pool, the price in the pool is now 0.95 ETH, then you go and pay 0.95 ETH to hold a security that's going to expire to 1 ETH one day, and then you earn interest on your ETH. That's kind of where the Plus ETH comes from, the name. So next slide. Yeah, so I'm going to hand over to, I think it's going to be either Will or Bruce doing the Museum of Finance.
Thank you so much, William. That was incredible. I'm so excited by this product, and these are just some of the use cases. There's really mind-blowing stuff here, and this really is pushing innovation. So really excited to get this out, and that launch will be coming very shortly. So yeah, Bruce, would you like to talk about some exciting updates for the Museum of Fine Yams?
Yeah, definitely. So the Museum of Fine Yams is an endeavor that Will and I have been starting up for the Yam community. Basically, it's a way just to give back to the community, give art back to the community, thank our users, thank folks who've been helping out. Our first launch was the Stonkies NFT that we gave away to the Stonks synthetic users from last month, and now we're going to do this new NFT series called, I guess, the Fine Yams project. If you go to the next slide. So basically, these NFTs were inspired by, you can keep scrolling too. Yeah, some NFTs were inspired by actually Monet Supply, a user who gave us the yamfinance.eth domain. So we wanted to like thank him somehow for doing that. So we were thinking, oh, maybe we should give him a Monet-inspired piece of artwork. And that process grew. We were like, why not? Why stop with Monet Supply? There are so many contributors. All of you guys here on the chat right now who've done so much for Yam too that would like to give back as well. So this will be something that we'll do so on a monthly basis, and something that we're also maybe just brainstorming now. Also, I'd love to also create a real museum of fine yams in a metaverse space somewhere too, just so like as a space to display this artwork and have you guys like maybe one day have a community call there too.
Yep, amazing. I love these so much. I love the style, and I really love the idea of giving contributors back, people who really help from the community, who really help and show acts of generosity like Monisify did. We can give them something really cool. And yeah, these are some of the designs already. So to summarize for today, thank you everyone for presenting. That was really exciting new developments across the board this week, and I feel like things are really ramping up with the upcoming launches and tightening up together the branding, the values, messaging. Everything sort of feels like it's coming together. So just to give a quick summary, we are going back to our vision and values, which will be driving everything moving forwards, maximizing community involvement. And there's a couple of things in the works to really push that even further. So we're going to be opening up even more channels to get community members involved. We're looking at ways to even incentivize participation with tip bots and things like this. Forum proposals. There is currently a forum proposal regarding not just the branding, but also Ross has put one out for the opening pools for Umbrella, which is something we haven't discussed too much today, but will be focused a lot in the upcoming call in 2 weeks' time. So there is also something we'll be talking about next week, which will be the guild structure, which is a way we are structuring our own internal operations to make things even more focused and making sure we're all passing on things in the right direction, a streamlined workflow. So that is it for this week, I believe, unless anyone, I'll open it up if anyone wants to talk about anything, ask any questions about, we've covered a lot there, so if anyone wants to ask any questions about Degen V2, about the branding, about the UI, NFTs, or the things that VDM explains, I'll open it up. Now's the time. Okay, anyone want to ask anything about anything else, or raise up any other topics of discussion for this week's call? Okay, I think that's pretty much everything for this week. So we will be moving forwards with everything that's happening this week, and in the 2 weeks' time, we will have an updated call where we can talk more about the things outlined. Thanks everyone for attending this week.
Thank you guys.
Well, thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Thanks everyone. Speak soon.